Hi, this is Kriti Sigdel, and the main aim of this presentation is to promote awareness of the significance of national quality standards in everyday professional practice of an early childhood educator. So, what is national quality standards? National Quality Standards holds the Australian early childhood education and care as well as after school care programs to a high standard. The National Quality Standards aims to promote children's safety and well-being by focusing on achieving outcomes for children through high-quality educational programs and by increasing families' understanding or perception on the characteristics of quality services or what distinguishes a quality service. National quality standards aids educators in delivering the highest standard of early childhood education and care services by outlining the element that best supports a child's growth. The approved provider, designated supervisor, and educational leader in every setting are in charge of making sure that all children's programs are built on an approved learning framework and executed in line with that framework. The the early program and practice, which falls under Quality Area 1, is responsible for making sure that educational programs and practices are stimulating and engaging, which help children learn and grow and address each child's unique learning and developmental needs. Through the pedagogical practice of educators and coordinators and developmental programs that promote children's learning across five learning outcomes. These are the five learning outcomes. In number one, we have children have a strong sense of identity. Number two, we have children are connected with and contribute to their world. Children have a strong sense of well-being. Children are confident and involved learners, and children are effective communicators. Quality Area 1 acknowledges that a high quality program that builds on each children's unique knowledge, abilities, belief, culture, and interest is likely to provide long term advantage for children as well as for the society. The National Quality Standards Quality Area 4 emphasizes on the availability of trained and experienced teachers who build trusting connections with children, establish predictable surroundings, and promote child's active participation in the learning process. The right combination of educators with necessary qualification increases encourages staff's continuity, which benefits children's learning and growth. The National Quality Standards Quality Area 5 focuses on educators creating relationships with children that are responsive, warm, trustworthy, and respectful, and that support their welfare, self esteem, sense of security, and belonging. The right These kind of connections enable children to play and learn and explore their surroundings. The National Quality Standards is linked to the approved learning framework, and these are the terms that should be looked after in context of designing and implementation of educational program and practice. Approved learning framework. In order to comply with national quality standards, services must use a recognized learning framework and create a curriculum that supports child's development as well-rounded communicators and learners. As we have discussed before, every settings need to be supported by approved learning frameworks. Early year learning framework and Victorian Early Years Learning and Development Framework are two approved learning frameworks for use in Victoria. Critical reflection. Ref- A critical reflection is a reflective technique that emphasizes the effects on fairness and social justice. Curriculum. All interactions, encounters, routines, and events which are either planned or unplanned that take place in an early childhood setting should promote children's learning and development. Individualized approach. Every child is unique, and taking that into consideration, educators are required to modify their response to meet the needs of an individual child. Educational leader. A proper qualified or experienced educator must have a written designation provided by the approved provider of an education and care service to lead development and implementation of educational programs. Play-based learning. It is a context for learning through which children make sense of their world. Educators are responsible for providing children with an educational curri- curriculum that is stimulating and engaging, improves their learning and development, and is based on and should be based on a recognized learning framework. Taking into account in the educational curriculum each child's individual differences, developmental needs, interests, and experiences, making an easy to understand assessment and record of each child's needs, interests, experiences, involvement, and growth in connection to the educational program, providing parents and guardians with information on their child's participation in the educational program, sharing information about a child's development and learning with parents or guardians on a regular basis, working with the nominated supervisor, the approved provider, the children, and the family and families to plan and evaluate the educational program. Relationships, partnerships, cooperation with children, families, and communities. Partnerships between families and employees result in interactions that are more satisfying for everyone involved. Relationships become partnerships when the parties involved share a same purpose, such as promoting children's mental health and well being, and shoulder responsibility for achieving that goal. Positive relationships and partnerships benefits children, family, and the early childhood staffs as well. When young children are nourished within a densely woven wave of affection, they do best now and later. Families are intimately familiar with their children's talents, personalities, moods, and behaviors. When families and professionals collaborate, they effectively share knowledge and concentrate on addressing the requirements of each child and fostering their development. Partnerships can encourage workers and families to approach one another and rely on one another for support. Children will feel valued and important when families and professionals support, respect, and show interest in each other on an equal basis. Families can feel at ease leaving their children with educators when they share a mutual understanding. So, working together always fosters communication and trust. Interacting within a partnership promotes feelings of welcome, respect, and value for both the families and employees, as well as comfort, confidence, and support in their duties. Dignity, equity, diversity, cultural competence, and inclusion within early childhood. Educators of children in school-age care who are committed to equity believe that every child has capacity to succeed and use opportunities despite their circumstances and talents. They develop children's self-assurance, joy, and sense of pleasure. Children grow successfully when their parents, teachers, and the community have high expectation for their accomplishments and social contribution. Children are raised in accordance with a culture which is influenced not only by customs, traditions, and family knowledge, but also by the customs of ideal and worldviews of other families and groups. Regarding diversity, it implies that in the curriculum, the principles, values, and beliefs of families are respected and reflected. Educators with social experience respect different social expressions, perspectives, and ways of living, enjoy the benefits of variety, and are able to recognize and maintain changes. This is clear during routine rehearsals when teachers demonstrate a persistent commitment to growing their own cultural competency through a two-way process with family and communities. For children to develop a sense of self and belonging as well as to succeed in lifelong learning, educators view fundamental values and the state of family. Inclusion is the dynamic response from early childhood experts to value all children's participation in their family's lives and their own skills. It is crucial to recognize and foster each child's sense of belonging to their family, community, and early years environment. Equity is the goal of presence. Fairness in early childhood refers to each child's entitlement to participate in all facets of communal life in non-discriminatory early childhood setting. Respect for Australia's native belief, those of the Torres Islanders, is the supervisory principles of the National Quality Framework. Educational educators understand that diversity adds to the richness of our society and offers a reliable evidence base for various modes of knowing, promoting a broader knowledge of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander ways of knowing and being is also a part of it for Australia. A child's individuality, identity, sense of belonging, and success in lifelong learning all depend on their culture. Every childhood services should take into account the cultural identity of the Aboriginal community in which they are located in order to support the identity of Aboriginal and Torres Islander children and to increase the knowledge of non-Indigenous children. Educators can help children develop a well-rounded understanding of Australia's First Peoples, a respect for diversity, and an understanding and appreciation of cultural difference by keeping focus on Indigenous Australia throughout the year through activities, excursions, and new books and activities that engage across a range of diverse topics. National Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander Children's Day and NAIDOC Week are both excellent opportunities for educators to include Indigenous culture to their lessons. Children are more likely to learn about and respect Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people and their culture when when classroom levels are used in both English and the local language, local art created by Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander artists in the area is displayed and these activities are discussed with the children. In order for children to develop a positive feeling of belonging, being, and becoming, education and care agencies can work to create supportive and culturally innocent environment. And these are the references that I used. Thank you.